If you don't know what the Chapo Challenge is, then you're probably not following James over at Fix It Fingers. He was challenged by a mate of his, Nigel Chapo, to get back in the workshop and build something out of an old post he gave him, because he had noticed that the YouTube woodworking scene, and especially the Aussie channels, had gone quiet over the last year or two, for whatever reasons. So James has taken it one step further and challenged all of us to either get back in the shed or to start posting again, or both. I'll link to details about the challenge below. Now, I'm definitely guilty of this. For me, it hasn't been a case of not getting into the shop and making stuff. No, I'm always doing that. It's what I love to do. Instead, it's been my desire and priority to post videos on YouTube that has been waning over the last 2 years, where I now find myself in this vicious cycle that started when my channel and videos weren't getting the engagement and growth I wanted, and that made me think, is it really worth the effort? This naturally led to me putting in less effort into editing and posting, which led to even lower engagement and growth for my channel, and as a result of that, my effort decreased even more, and of course that leads to even lower engagement and growth, and as a result of that you put in even less effort again, and I'm sure you get the picture. It's a self-defeating loop. I find myself at the point now where posting on YouTube has dropped down the priority list so far that it's almost fallen off completely. But I'm taking the Chapo Challenge to try and change that with this video. Now, I hope it's okay, James, but I'm probably not following the rules exactly with this video, although there aren't really any rules, as the point of the challenge is to just get restarted in either making or posting videos, or both. For me, this is to hopefully get me inspired to post more videos more regularly. This isn't a new build for the challenge. It's a simple but beautiful stool I made a little while ago and filmed, but never edited and posted the video. Those who follow me will immediately recognise that I'm in my old workshop layout, so that gives you an idea about when I made this. The stool is made from all old reclaimed Aussie hardwood. The stool has a delicate look about it, but it's incredibly sturdy and very weighty, thanks to being solid Aussie hardwood. The legs on the stool are splayed out in both directions, so each leg is getting cut at a compound 10-degree angle on both ends. The miter gauge and the saw blade are both set to 10 degrees. I cut one end of each leg first, and then using the stop block I cut the other end of each leg so they're the same height, making sure I cut them in the right direction so that the ends are parallel to each other. With the blade back to 90 degrees and the miter gauge still set at 10 degrees, the stretches between the legs get cut to length. The joinery method for the stool is dowels. I use the dowel max to drill 2 holes in both ends of the 4 stretches. I then drilled 2 corresponding holes along the faces of the legs where the stretchers will attach. So I gave all the parts a quick chamfer to break any sharp corners. Used a scraper to remove any saw marks. Sanded everything with 120 and then 180 grit paper. And I applied finish just to the stretchers before glue up. Because the legs are angled, I use these offcuts that have the same angle on them as clamping blocks, so the clamps will apply even pressure to the joints and won't slip out of place. I glued up the base in 2 stages just to make it easier on myself, and pre-finishing the stretches helped a lot with wiping up glue squeeze out. I glued up the long sides of the base first, and when they were dried, I just had to glue in the short stretches to make the base one piece. With the base now done, it was time to make the top. I cut down this old decking handrail that was some very dense and heavy hardwood. My battery circular saw was struggling to cut through it. I ran the boards over the jointer to get one flat face and to see what the timber looked like under that weathered and painted surface. It was amazing to see it come back to life. I chose the 3 best boards and finished milling them up on the thicknesser. And then remove the bullnose edge on the table saw. Back to the thicknesser again to bring them down to final thickness, and then trim them close to final width on the table saw. I then jointed the glue faces to get that perfect glue line by running the 2 mating boards facing each other over the jointer at the same time to eliminate any small error in my jointer fence not being perfectly 90 degrees. Time to glue up the top. Once the top had dried, I cut it to final width. I used dowels again to attach the top to the legs, but because I was only using 1 dowel on each leg, I used the biggest dowels I have, which are 1/2 inch. I found it easier for these holes to use the main block of the dowel max as a drilling guide, but I wasn't comfortable drilling a 1/2 inch hole straight up, so I started with 8mm holes and then use those as a starter hole for the bigger drill bit. I was able to clamp the block to the underside of the top, but for the tops of the legs, I just went handheld, and because this was end grain, it was a little grabby, but overall went pretty easily. Last glue up was putting on the top, which was very straightforward. I chamfered the bottom of the legs and added some foam pads. And then installed my nameplate to the underside of the stool. Ideally, I would have drilled this rebate when the top wasn't attached, but it was a last minute decision to add it. I finished the stool with U-Butte traditional wax because it's so easy to apply. It has a quick application time, but mostly because it's a very neutral wax that doesn't change the colour of the timber. So what's your Chapo challenge? Check out the link below for the challenge details. I think it finishes at the end of November. Thanks for listening and watching.